use a landing page. And Jeff and I, we talked about this a little bit today. Use a landing page. On that landing page, I suggest you do a video review. Is it overkill? Maybe. And some people will tune it out and some people will turn it off. Fine. Wonderful. I don't care if they turn it off. But the video review is going to be for those people who do not want to look at all your images. They want to be able to just sit down, watch your video, or even listen to you. And then you're going to talk about what it is they're going to do. Now, when you start talking about doing a video review, you can just review your bonus, right? So in other words, it's not about the product, it's about your bonus. So during your sales video, people get to your landing page, review your bonus, right? You don't have to review the product, review your bonus and how it fits into what the product is doing. You can also review the product and how people are going to benefit. Now, again, that's a choice. You can do either one, and whichever one is going to fit the list that you have. And then do a video review of why either one of those things are going to benefit the client or both of them, right? Review your bonus, review the product. But I said this yesterday that a landing page video, and especially for an affiliate promotion, remember, they're going to leave your landing page. They're probably going to go and see another sales video. Please do not go beyond 3 minutes, right? Really 1 or 2 minutes is more than adequate. 1 minute is best. If you're going to do a video review, you're going to autoplay the video when they get to your landing page. Please try to keep it right close to 1 minute, whatever you do. So it doesn't leave a lot of time for you to, oversell something. Cause you're really dependent. You're really dependent on the person that is going to, you're dependent on the person that's going to, let's say that they're going to go ahead and make the purchase at that point, right? So again, your review, you're dependent on the person who is doing the sale, right? That's what I want to say. So in other words, you decide to promote a product, right? You decide to promote an affiliate marketing offer. And so what you want to do is you want to be dependent on that person to make the sale. Now, if you think that person didn't do a good job on their sales page, then you might have to do more on your bonus. You might have to do more on your landing page. If you look at that sales page and they did a crappy job, then what you got to do is you got to get enough momentum, right, based on your bonus and your emphasis of the product in your bonus. Right, so it's not just about what they're going to do. Now, if they're doing a great job on the sales page, what you're going to do is you're just going to say, "Hey, you know what? Here's our bonus." You just send them over there. In fact, in some cases, you don't even have to do a sales video if that's the case. They've already done a great job on the sales page. I talked about this before. Use 3D images on your sales page, on your bonus page. Be clear in your call to action. Be careful about the words on your button. Be specific. You can put, for instance, in Optimized Press, you can change the words on the button. You can do continue. You can do download now. You can do access now, right? Be specific about what you want them to do. Again, I'd like to use the word continue. They came to the landing page. And what I'm trying to do subtly in the back of the person's mind, I don't know if it matters, but again, I want them to continue. I want them to keep going. I want them to keep moving and then go on to look at the landing page, at the sales page. Continue, right? If you want them to have download now, be specific about that. Make sure that everything else on your landing page sort of leads them to want to download now. Again, be specific about your call to action. If all you're going to have on your bonus page or your landing page is going to be a button, then that button has the words with a call to action. Now, again, if you're going to have a button, make sure you have something on that button. Right? Now, I've seen some cases where somebody will leave the words off the button thinking it might be too much. It is not too much. It is necessary. You must put the call to action on there, and it must be crystal, quadruple clear. Right now, and having said that, right, when you start talking about a bonus page and a landing page, not a lot of words, folks, and I've learned this the hard way. You don't want to have a lot of words on there because a lot of words do is really slow people down. And a lot of words will get people reading about stuff that may or may not be relevant. The more talking you do, the higher the probability that you and I will say something that will slow somebody down and will keep them. Do you realize, and I didn't even know this because I'm not a natural salesperson, and I didn't know this until I, started talking to friends. How many of you all know you can talk somebody out of a sale? You can talk, you can be doing your best sales job, and you can talk them right out of a sale. So I'm saying to you, your job on that landing page is to get people to the sales page with momentum, right? Again, so what's the momentum depend on? Well, if the momentum depends on this. How good a job did the vendor do on their sales page? If they did a crappy job, then you got to generate the momentum. If they did a great job, then you got to move them quick. The momentum is going to be determined by the person who created the offer. Right? Does that make sense? I know I kind of blew through that. So if you get that, put the number 4 in the question box. If you sort of get that concept, right? So again, what you're doing on the landing page is you are generating momentum. Jeff's question is, how about if they overdid the sales page? 15-minute sales videos times 2, right? Yeah, typically when somebody does that, they feel they've tested it. And everything's going to come back down to, you got to have a lot of trust in that person. And you got to have some trust that if you send visitors there, they're not going to get talked out of it. Right? So if you trust them that they did test it, that it's not just them kind of running off at the mouth, then I would say then you got to move them fast off the landing page, right? So in other words, you can't have them spending a lot of time. They've got to get a clear picture of your premium or your bonus and move quickly on to the sales page and let them do the sales job. Your job is to let them see stuff fast and get them off of there, especially if they're going to have a 15-minute sales video. Oh man. Okay, yeah, EverFunnels. I haven't heard of it. Yeah, it's the folks who did EverLesson. I think that is. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. So that's probably Chad Nicely, and Chad Nicely does long sales videos. I don't. I have not sent people the long. I don't think I have. Right. I don't think I've sent people to long sales version. Right, to sales videos. So I don't know that I don't know that I've promoted somebody with long sales videos. I don't know that I have. It's not that I won't. Right. So yeah. Now I may think about doing something like that. And I may not. Yeah. Dan says it's the same as EverLesson with the funnels added in. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, right? I'm probably going to stay old school and stick with optimized press. I think I'm just married to optimized press. And so, it's kind of like, well, as they say, it's kind of, they say it's, you dance with the one that brought you there. So, but yeah, so when you're promoting as an affiliate, go light on the number of words. Don't have a lot of words on your landing page, regardless. I don't even know I don't care what the occasion is. You don't need a lot of words on there because you got to get people off of there onto the sales page. And this is just my own personal opinion. I don't like putting people on bonus landing pages, right? Because the internet marketing community, especially those of us who are in the business opportunity niche, right? We are a diverse group. And if you put this, let's say a business dude, right, in a suit and tie on your landing page, someplace in the back of my mind, I'm telling you, it's just going to turn me off, right? It's going to turn some people off. It's going to attract some people. And so I don't think you ought to be using people at all because people just kind of have this it's all psychological. It's all going on in the background. You and I are not even conscious of the decisions we're making, right? That's proven. And we see a person, how they're dressed, what they're doing. All of that has an effect. And unless you think that that person is helping your customer, I don't think you need people on there. It's not, because really and truly, what we're trying to do, unless you can very clearly put people on. This was in a course I took, I don't know, back in 2010, a guy named Mike Hill. He did something called CPA Tsunami. And he said all of these statistics say that when you can put somebody in the goal position in a picture, that works, right? And so that's why if you and the people who are really good at this, unfortunately, are not always going to be internet marketers, information marketers. We're the worst at it. The people who are really good at this are multi-level marketers, right? And sometimes when you get to one of those landing pages, do you know why I have all those corny looking people and it's like a bunch of them on there and they're all smiling, they're all at the beach? That's because it's all work. It's not because it's not conscious, right? It's psychological. It's all working in the background. That's why they put a bunch of people on there, because they're trying to cover all the bases, right? They're trying to peel it. They're trying to let you see everybody so that you find yourself when you look at that picture, and then you see them in the goal position. So in other words, you want to see them after they bought the product. You want to see them happy and vacationing and spending lots of money and, all that stuff, right? And we get sometimes we think that we get turned off when we see a big car in the background, right? They're a little more upfront about it. Please don't think I'm telling you to put all that stuff on your bonus page. I'm telling you not to put that stuff on there, but I'm saying if you must put this stuff on there, make sure that you're careful to put people in the bonus position and try to cover all the bases. Listen to feedback, right? Listen to feedback when you start doing affiliate marketing. What are people saying about your promotion? People will tell you, right? What are people saying about your bonus? Are they asking questions? Because if people aren't even asking questions about it, then it may not be exciting enough, right? It ought to make somebody ask you, hey, is this bonus going to be available, let's say in a week? If you start getting questions like that, you put together the right thing, right? If you don't hear anything and nobody cares and people are kind of going to your landing page, they're not even going on to the sales page, you need to spruce it up a little bit, right? And again, people will tell you why. And again, this does kind of go to what Jeff was saying. You want to be watching your statistics. If people are going to your landing page and they're not going on to the sales page, it's probably because you didn't generate enough momentum, or you didn't give them something exciting enough to move on off your landing page. And so if you start looking at your stats and you say, boy, man, I had 100 clicks to the bonus page and only had 1 click to the sales page. Something is wrong with your landing page, right? Something is wrong with your sales video. Something's wrong on that page that people just didn't feel like, you know what, it's not even worth my time to go look at this. And so you got to get them off of there. And so your bonus will typically do that if it's exciting enough. What are people telling you about your sales video, right? Are people watching the sales video? Do they remember what you said in it? Do they remember the details you offered in it? Do they remember the things that you said? If they're not, if you're not hearing anything, doesn't mean it probably means then that people are dismissing it. They're turning it off. They don't want to hear it, right? And so again, that sales video needs to be an ally. It needs to be a partner to what's on your bonus page, but it can be an impediment if it's slowing people down, right? Again, everything in your bonus page ought to speed up the process, because if it's not, right, then you've got too much of something or not enough of something else, right? Are people reading your email, right? So you can get a sense for whether or not people are reading your email. Do people quote you back? If you ask for feedback, are you hearing from people to write you back? Every so often, right? Even when you do an affiliate promotion or the days you're not doing affiliate promotion, you should be asking for feedback for people to write you back, so that you can get a sense for whether or not people are reading your email. Excuse me. Because if you're not, again, that means then that you got to get people to start reading. You got to start digging deeper to get people into what you're saying. Do people care? And again, I said this before. The last thing is, do people care about your bonus? Because if nobody cares about it, it's probably not exciting enough. It's probably not a bonus. And again, in this age where people are stockpiling stuff, right? That's not always going to be the thing. Sometimes it is. Sometimes people care about the stuff and you need to stockpile stuff. But sometimes what you really need to do is kind of give some thought to a narrative, try to figure out what people are trying to become, and then you want to put your bonus on that. Because trust me, when you were competing against other affiliates, most affiliates are pressed for time, right? And I shouldn't say this, but most affiliates are probably going to put together their promotion about an hour before the launch. Right, but you can beat any affiliate if you know about it ahead of time, if you put a little time into it, you put a bonus page together, you do a bonus video, and you do some other graphics. You are probably going to outperform most people, even if you don't have as much traffic, right? Even if you don't, right? And I don't know why that is. It just is. Right. So again, put something together that people are going to care about.